watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 76 degrees at 7:40 on this Friday, September 8th. I'm Scott Stanford. Here's what's happening. How much longer do we have to deal with the extreme heat? Yes, but the trade-up isn't all that great. Giants and Jets go prime time for week one, but some Grand Green fans could be shut out from watching Aaron Rodgers' debut. A super spicy tortilla chip being pulled from the shelves after being blamed for the death of a Massachusetts teen. It was a brawl in Brooklyn yesterday as police clashed with new migrants over unregistered motorized scooters. An environmentalist glues his feet to the ground during Coco Gauff's semifinal at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Sports, good night for Motown. Yanks crushed by the Tigers. Lions stun the Chiefs in the NFL season opener. We're going to check the AccuWeather in just a second, but first, Wins News Time, 7:41. Traffic and transit on the ones. Once again, here's Karen Stewart.
25 minutes is the number. Inbound Holland, Lincoln, GW Bridge. Nice numbers for a Friday here at 7:41. 25 minutes, Holland, Lincoln, and the GW. Now, over at the East River, we've got delays inbound at the 59th Street Bridge that are rather slow. Nothing too major as far as delays, but slow from both Northern Boulevard and Queens Boulevard. Northern Boulevard appears to be the most delayed over Queens Boulevard. The inbound side of the RFK Triborough is very busy. We've got Grand Central Parkway westbound delays to the BQE on your way up into the RFK that start back at Roosevelt Avenue now. The Frogs Neck and Whitestone bridges are doing pretty well. We've got no problems to tell you about there. Alternate side of the street parking rules and regulations are in effect, and we've got 4, 5, and W train delays. Our next report is 7:51. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, the heat wave is in the books, but better weather we can only dream about, meteorologist Dean DeVore.
We made the heat wave official yesterday, Scott. Today we'll not likely get to 90 in the city. There may be some inland suburbs that do. A lot more clouds today overall. A couple of thunderstorms we expect to swing through later this afternoon into this evening, especially. Downpour potential is the main problem, but there could be some that have some damaging wind gusts. And then as we go to the weekend, some intermittent times where the showers and some thunder come through, and they could cause some downpours capable of producing flash flooding here. And we got to keep an eye on that. More showers on Monday, and then eyes turn to Lee as we get into the latter part of next week. For us here in New York, could be some impact. We'll talk about that 10 minutes away on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
All right, Dino. Jets and Giants fans all revved up for week one of the NFL season. Both clubs going to be featured in prime time, but will some Gangrene fans have to listen on the radio? Glenn Shucks breaking it all down.
So the football season's upon us. National spotlight on the Giants and the Jets. Big Blue, a great game Sunday night, home against Dallas, of course, one of their arch rivals. Then there's Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. It seems like everyone, that's all they've been doing is talking about them. Is it too much hype? Well, Joe Santiago says, well, he really has been a Jets fan forever.
Everybody's Jets here this way. Are you jumping on the bandwagon here a little bit?
No, I've always been a Jets fan.
So give me a prediction for the Jets. We got 17 games now. How many games do you think they'll win?
I say 13.
13? That's a lot of pressure.
I say 13-4, the least 12-5.
Now, if you're planning on tuning into the game and you're a Spectrum customer, could be a problem here. Right now, a dispute between Disney and Spectrum on that cable system, which will black out the game as of now unless they get it resolved by Monday. Glenn Shuck, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM in Midtown.
Love listening to Bob Wischusen on the radio. A super spicy snack is getting pulled from stores after the death of a Massachusetts teen.
The One Chip Challenge is a single individually wrapped tortilla chip that comes in a red, green, and black cardboard box shaped like a coffin. Chip maker Pocky says out of an abundance of caution, they have asked retailers to stop selling them after a Massachusetts family blamed it for the death of their 14-year-old son, Harris Wolova. His mother says last Friday the school nurse called to say her son fainted after eating one of the chips. Police in Worcester say they were called to Wolova's house a few hours later and found him unresponsive and not breathing. The chip's package encourages the buyer to wait as long as possible before drinking or eating anything and post their reaction on social media. Authorities say there have been reports from around the country of people who've gotten sick after taking part in the challenge. Experts say the chemical in spicy chili peppers, capsaicin, can cause symptoms ranging from a burning sensation in the mouth to abdominal pain, nausea, and in high doses, even injury to the heart. I'm Jennifer King.
The 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks comes up this Monday, and with the many events comes the 9/11 Promise Run Journey this weekend. The run takes you back in time, passing through the country's history and roots, visiting spots like the monuments of D.C., Inner Harbor in Baltimore, City Hall in Philly, before the journey ends at the 9/11 Memorial here in New York. Erin Cunningham was born and raised in Jersey City. Her father worked near the towers, and he got out of the area when the planes hit. She says this run helps honor those who gave their lives.
The amount of people that stop us along the way and thanked us, the amount of people, I had a couple stop me last year and tell me that there's something in the Army and it needs so much that people do these kind of things. There's just so much more to it than just the run.
And the actual run does get underway tomorrow. Wins News Time 746 calling all teachers. Amityville schools need you guys. The school district starting the new year with a depleted staff.
Every year, teachers quit their jobs or they retire after many years of service. But here in Amityville, they have a major problem keeping teachers. News 12 reports in the past year alone, 40 teachers quit. 6 teachers quit their jobs just this week, the first week of school. The superintendent says the district has now launched an extensive recruitment campaign to attract the best teaching talent. But community members say the main problem, teachers are overworked and they're underpaid. And the district and the teachers have been working without a contract. Their contract expired in June. Some believe the state needs to get involved because they believe the situation is just out of control. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Amityville, Long Island.
Well, 2 days ago, Mayor Adams said the migrant crisis is going to ruin New York City. Yesterday, New York Governor Hochul said a special session of the legislature is not out of the question as the pressure is on for lawmakers in Albany to address this growing migrant mess.
I'm trying with my attorneys literally every day to find a path where I, as the governor of the state of New York, can find a mechanism until such time as the federal government changes the rules.
On social media, Hochul wrote, "We're all in this together, and every corner of our state must do its part." That's the sound of a brawl going down in the East Williamsburg section of Brooklyn. Police say it was all over the growing number of gas-powered scooters. The Daily News says the scuffle between newly arrived migrants and police who confiscated many unregistered mini bikes that happened around 8 a.m. yesterday morning. Authorities say 6 men were arrested for assaulting officers, weapons possession, and inciting a riot outside a migrant shelter on Flushing Avenue near Jefferson Street. President Biden heads overseas on a trip focused on countering China's growing influence around the world. The president's going to be wearing a mask during at least the first leg of the trip. The White House says that's in response to First Lady Jill Biden's recent bout with COVID. It comes as questions are raised about who won't be attending the G20 summit.
Hanging over the G20 meeting is the absence of 2 world leaders. The first, Russia's Vladimir Putin, who has been ostracized and sanctioned by many nations for its invasion of Ukraine. And second, China's Xi Jinping, who has said little on why he is skipping the summit.
That's Bo Erickson. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the absence of Xi and Putin are going to make very little difference in what world leaders plan on doing. Well, 30 years to life in prison. That's the sentence for former That 70s Show actor Danny Masterson, who was convicted for drugging and raping 2 women in his Hollywood home 20 years ago. Both victims delivered powerful statements directly to Masterson before he was sentenced.
There were allegations the reason it took so long was that the church prevented the victims from reporting the assaults. The women claimed once they came forward, they were harassed and threatened by the church.
Just because it's a delayed reporting, even if it's been 20 years, it still matters. A crime still happened, and somebody needs to be held accountable.
His victims testified just prior to the sentencing, calling Masterson a true coward and heartless monster. You relish in hurting women. It's your addiction.
That's Carter Evans reporting. It's been 1 week since convicted murderer Danilo Cavalcante scaled the walls of a county prison in Pennsylvania and sparked a massive manhunt in a heavily wooded area in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Frustration is mounting. Connie Bertzendal lives in the same area Cavalcante was spotted Tuesday. Her neighbors called police.
I just don't understand. They were here 2 minutes after they called. So...
Still got away. She says she pointed search teams to some of the paths through the heavy woods.
That's Trevor Alt reporting. And since he took off, there have been 8 times people told police they thought they saw Cavalcante. He's been on the run since August 31st. Wins News Time 7:50. Let's get your check of the roads in just a minute.
You know, I'm all about efficiency. 2 birds, 1 stone. The best of both worlds, that sort of thing. I eat all my meals with a spork, and my favorite condiment is ketch must mayo sardinas. That's why I installed a Navian combi boiler at home. Think about it. Endless hot water and high efficiency.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my morning commute to work while I listen to 1010 Wins news in the New York Metropolitan area. I say this almost on all the videos, not all of them, but I do acknowledge that this isn't the most entertaining or the most exciting video you would see on YouTube, but I feel that it's necessary to record our history, and we've been doing so since December 7th, 2022. For the majority of the work week since that time, I have been uploading a driving in the news video. The only exception is if I don't go to work that day, I won't do the video because I won't be commuting to work. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next Driving in the News.